Well, hello there, Doogly here, and today I'm playing Star Ruler 2. I picked this up on Steam recently. It was one of the games I came across while looking for like a 4X strategy game to play that had multiplayer. I've been playing a little bit of multiplayer. I really like it. I've got about 20 hours in it so far. I've been learning a lot of new things about it all the time. But yeah, I think we'll jump in and I'll show you stuff as we go. And hopefully the video will be less than 30 minutes, because there is a lot to this game, but it's quite simple, really. So yeah, this is the main menu. That's not the prettiest. Also, the website for this game is not the prettiest. It has a decent soundtrack, although it seems to like randomly come off and on, like on and off and on again when you're playing. So you hear a song and then it'll be off again for like 20 minutes. It's really weird. Anyway, I have it turned off for right now. But anyway, we'll jump in to a new game here. There is a tutorial, although, well, I mean, it does a good job of showing you the basics enough so that you can get started, and then kind of have to work out the rest for yourself. If you get stuck on this, there's some good community guides and community guides for shipbuilding and things. So we're just going to simplify this, and I'm not going to play a customized race or anything. So these are the 7 races you have to choose from. You can download, I think there's more downloadable races from the Steam Workshop, and pictures, and like government types and everything. So if we just go into here to customize race, you can see I've added some pictures. These are all, normally you would only have like this row right here, but I've added a bunch more. So yeah, you can choose your ship set, you can download more ship sets, you might be able to get more weapon skins, you can choose the type of government you have, the type of faster than light travel you use, and what type of life you are, like if you're, computer people or robots or humans or whatever. I'm going to do communism because it seems to be the best start, since it gives you 2 ship fleets to start with. So besides, that's the only thing I've changed. Dukely, Empire, and we've got 2 computers, and I'm going to put them on passive, just because I don't want them to attack me while we're doing this tutorial, since I'm probably not going to be doing very well, since I'll be yammering on most of the time. And we're going to add another guy and make him that color. And there we go. We can choose what type of maps we want. You can have as many maps as you want. I think you can make it fairly huge system if you're so interested in that. But we're going to just go ahead and choose the expanse. So you could say flatten, otherwise everything is kind of on. It's still not like a fully 3D, but the systems are more like up and down. There's more height to them. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, I'll show you. And you can choose the spacing. You can also choose, I think, maybe not for this one, but on some of them you can choose how many more systems you want. So you can have a shitload, like 1,000. You can also create your own systems if you have the right tech and like artifacts and stuff. So here's a bunch of stuff that you can change the options of. This is the default here. I would turn off the Revenant stuff if it's the first time you've played. And remnant occurrence, and anomaly. No, you want anomaly occurrence, and you probably don't want the dread pirate. Yeah, so that way there'll be less AI controlled stuff in the game, like random non-affiliated people that will attack everybody and be annoying usually. So yeah, we'll start. So it actually shows you a picture from whatever you were looking at the last time you played. So here we are. We're going to pause really quick. So this is our home planet of Walco 1 of the Dukely Empire. And you can see this is the known systems of the universe. We know that their stars are there, but we don't know what's in the star systems. And there's usually oh no, it's a regular star. Sometimes there's a black hole in the center or something weird. Right, so if we go back in here and have a look, here is our 2 starting fleets we've got because of the communist government type. 2 dreadnoughts. These are pretty shit. They will get destroyed if you have to battle with them in like an hour or so. Everyone will be so far advanced in technology that they'll probably get destroyed quite easily unless you've upgraded the armor or... Anyway, getting ahead of myself. We're going to go right away into the designs. So you can design your own ships. It also has these already made ones for you. You can save them and then import designs, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to import a recon. As the original scout, that the game gives you, as you can see, is $39,000. Mine is $33,000. Also, it cost one less labor, so I can make them a lot quicker. The only difference is that mine has only engines on it and no weapons or defense shields or anything like that, like this one does. If we just go and look at it, you can see it has some shields. Not shields, but plates. You can get shields on them, like shield generators, you know, like the Enterprise or something. There's a command here, and there's a torpedo launcher, and it's not really necessary for a recon ship. So here's mine. It's 2 hyperdrives and 2 engines. And yeah, that works better for me, at least. So we're going to double click on our home planet of Walco and have it build 2 recons. Now what you're doing is there's kind of a puzzle element to this, and I'm going to try and explain it. The tutorial does a much better job. So if we look at our empire, and our home planet rather, you can see that it is over here in the corner a level 1, and it requires a food resource and any tier 1 resource. Well, here's a food resource on this planet here. It's uncolonized, so we're going to colonize that. And here's a tier 1 resource, which is uncolonized, so we'll colonize that. Now, if we look at this tier 1 resource, it will say, cannot use, planet must be colonized. Okay, well, it will say, we're going to unpause, that it needs a food and a water before it can become a level 1 planet. Your home planet already has a water and a food on it, so that's why it's already level 1. So we're going to level this guy up by colonizing this water and sending it to him there. We're also going to send him this food. Even though this planet needs food, we'll find some somewhere else. And then if we can see there that there's a fish queued to go there and some water queued to go there, we can queue this to export right to our homeworld, which will help it level up to a level 2. And we will wait for our recons to be built. While we're waiting for them, we're just going to send one of our fleets. Oh, we don't have enough crystals. So because I'm humans and I have hyperdrive for my FTL, you can see up here I have these FTL energies. How do I explain this? I mean, they recharge over time, and you can get more research and stuff for them, but basically it's like dilithium from Star Trek. It gets used up, you know, and you have to replace it. Some resources give you more. There's some that are actually just called FTL crystals and stuff. Anyway, it's really good because with a hyperdrive you can move pretty much, you know, to the limit of, if I had my 250 capacity, I could move to the other side of the universe for 135. The problem is that once you have multiple ships, it costs a shitload more. So look, I could have moved all the way across the system for 125. Now it's going to cost me 120 to move, or 110 or so to move to this next system, just because there's 2 ships in there. Oh, our recons are done. So we're going to tell them to auto-explore with FTL. And you are going to auto-explore with FTL. So they're going to use our crystals to have a look around, basically. We're going to move one guy, though. Just tell me it's been built there. Alright, what's happening here? The fish has been colonized and is being exported to the plastics planet. This planet does make plastic. And the planet needs 1 billion population to export resource. Right. There is sound on here, isn't there? Everything's pretty quiet unless you're in combat, really. Even with the music on. So here we are in the next planet over, or the next system over, rather. And our scout has found 2 other systems now. This one has a food, which is great. We're going to colonize that, and we're going to export it right to our home planet. So that'll be those 2 requirements for level 2 done. And you can see there's some other stuff here. This is a good one. You just kind of colonize this and export it right to your capital. It'll give you an extra research bonus, and it'll also increase your labor production from having it sent to your home planet. If we look at the home planet, our labor is here. We're making 4 a minute. That's pretty bad. What I would like to do is build... Oh, I don't have enough money. The budget is another weird thing, which I'll explain. Basically, we want a higher labor so that you can make warships and stuff really quickly. Otherwise, you will fall very far behind, and other empires will have a lot more ships than you and a lot bigger fleets with better ships with better stuff on them. So it is very much a technology race, and also a numbers race. So you can see here, we're the only empire. We don't know of anybody else. We've never met anybody else. And you can see our military strength of 2.6k, which is average, because this is early game, so nobody has anything more than their starting fleets, if they even had a starting fleet, because some have different stuff. Now, over here we spotted a remnant ship, a remnant fleet, actually, which is pretty dangerous. It's got 6,000 health and 2.3k attack. If we just look at a dreadnought really quick, you can see that my guy has 651 strength and only 2,000 for health. So even if I paired them together, they would not have a very good chance. The number after the name is just kind of like a size indication. So you can have, I think you can have ships all the way up to like 1,000 or something. More than that even, I guess. There's no real restriction on how big you make a ship. So if we go here and say flagship, you can make it like this. The only thing that's different is that it would cost $110 billion, which I don't think is possible. It would look huge on this map, because the ships change size based on, like if you zoom in, that $110 billion ship would probably be like this big and take up a lot of room. I hope we can see my mouse. I don't even know if my mouse thing is on. It better be. Let me check, actually. Okay, it's on. That's good. So, normally you would want to do this at breakneck speeds, colonizing and moving as quick as possible, because you want to try to grab up as many stars as possible before another empire gets there, and then you have to go through a bunch of bullshit, either in a war or through the Galactic Senate to try to get the stuff you need. So we're getting this still. We're kind of restricted on how fast we can expand at the beginning, because you can see here the planet only has 1 out of 3 billion population, and it takes 1 billion people to colonize. So it takes it directly from the planet, and if the planet's getting food, it will grow, so the population will increase. You can see here it's these colony ships are moving in, and they'll slowly fill up this ring, and you can see down here in the corner that it will fill up this this number of people. I don't know if you can actually read that. It might be a bit hard to read, but it says 0.93 out of 1. So this guy is going to get it. There's 1. That's done. As you can see, the planet has leveled up to a level 2 right away. Now it has like a kind of a diamond. That's a hexagon, rather. Hexagon shape. Very obsessed with hexagons, the developers of this game. Hexagon shape around it. And that's good. So now we want to look for another tier 1 to send it, and a tier 2. So we can look around here. We've got plentiful stuff in this system. It's a pretty good, well, not system, quadrant or sector, I guess. We've got explosives, which is a pretty good one. They generate defense for your systems. Up here on the right, there's a shield. We're not generating any, but if you were to generate defense, you can right-click and say Start Using Defense. And what will happen there is your defense will convert into support ships, which will kind of float around orbiting your planets. So if there's a hostile that should come into the area, they will attack him. So that if you don't have a fleet there, it kind of gives like a local defense force time to hold off stuff until your fleets arrive. Not really a problem for humans who have hyperdrive. But it can be once your system or your empire grows large and you can't jump to where you need to be. So yeah, we're gonna just look around for a good tier 2. This is a thorium. What does this do? Highlight over it. There's plenty of tooltips in this game to tell you stuff. So that gives us more energy. Energy is that one there. Some things have an energy cost, usually an artifact. So if we look here on the top right, here's the artifacts we've discovered within planets that we've flown to. We found a buster machine. Activate the dormant buster machine ship, an ancient vessel equipped with a planet buster beam. So that could be used to destroy planets, I would imagine. But it costs 1.5k energy. We can't even hold that much yet. Your energy storage will increase automatically based on population, and so will energy research, or energy generation rather, all based on civilians building stuff on your planet. So there's a lot of like capitalist ventures occurring on your planets that will fill in some of that stuff for you, including some labor, but not very much, unless you research it. There's a lot of ways you can go with research. So yeah, that's defense. What was I talking about? Defense? I don't remember. Oh yeah, energy. So yeah, those are some of the things we found. A planet generator 1.4 and Espionage Pro 750. And Espionage lets you scans that can spy for diplomatic advantage. Okay, so that's that really. Let's talk about diplomacy now. There's a lot happening here, I'm sure. It's definitely a good game. I really like this game. It's different than the regular 4X games, really, because it has that puzzle element. Anyway, let's talk about the diplomacy. So we haven't met anybody else, but normally there would be all these active proposals happening, which we could vote on or do other actions against to either help pass or kill them, basically, for our advantage, obviously. We actually are generating 2.6 minutes, 2.6 influence per minute because of this plastics resource we've got here, which is one of the best ones as far as I'm concerned. It generates 3 pressure of influence on your home planet. Really good. So we control 50% of the Senate, even though we don't know anybody else. Don't really know how that occurs, but that's it, really. So we can buy cards here. These are cards that we already have down here on the available diplomatic actions. Influence peddling events are cards we can buy, and you can see the cost there: 7, 7, 6, 7. They get cheaper the farther down they are, since they've been in the longer amount of time they've been on this queue. The cheaper they are. So down at this end, they're quite cheap, and up here they're real expensive. Every 30 seconds, I think it ticks over, and you can see our total there. And I feel like I'm just starting to talk over myself. I don't know. So we don't really need any of these cards. We might take this Protect System. That's a good card. You can play it, and it'll generate a bunch of... no, it doesn't. What does that one do again? Critical... prevents own planets and target system from losing loyalty. So basically, they won't be allowed to conquer your planets if you have that active in the system. It's a good one to have. Somebody else has bought these. We can see that they're slashed through with the orange, so it kind of gives you a clue of who's bought them, but obviously we don't know for sure since we haven't met them. So you can see these are constantly changing. Patriotic Surge is another good one. That will generate a bunch of defense ships for a planet. Ancient Knowledge is another good one. We're going to take that. And to Negotiate for 2, we'll take that as well. So once we meet more people, if we meet people this turn, we'll go back to the diplomacy. The budget. Let's talk about the budget really quick. I'm going to pause. This is how much we have to spend. Here's how much we're going to have on the next go-around. This changes every, I forget how long. I want to say like 3 minutes, I think, for that. And your budget increases and decreases based on how many planets you control and if they're making money or not. So this planet here is losing me $80,000 because we're not doing anything with it. It's just exporting food. But my capital is making 330k because, well, there's lots of people living on it here, as you can see all these cities. And they're importing stuff that helps the taxes and things on that planet. Same thing with any planet that's at least a level 1 should be making money. Only planets that are undeveloped will lose money. So, you need to balance it all out. It kind of does it on its own. As long as you focus on researching, as long as you focus on building your capital planet first, then work on your tier 1s and your tier 2s, or tier 2s and then tier 1s rather, you'll be fine and have plenty of money. So, we need another tier 1 first of all to satisfy this planet, and a food. Here's a system rather that's just food. So we're going to colonize this, send it there. Here's a tier 1 that's pretty decent. So we're going to colonize this water and send it there, colonize this food and send it there, and then we're going to queue this to send right to the capital. So as you remember, it needs to be level 1, so it needs a water and a food. Now, that'll be a tier 1 sorted there. We need a tier 2. So if there's a tier 2 that's a pretty decent, and there's like a tier 1 nearby that's a double, which unfortunately we don't have a double tier 1 nearby. Here's an ancient city. You can't export that, so don't worry about that one. Natural gas is one I'm willing to lose to support a tier 2 planet, especially if it's the thorium, because it'll produce energy anyway. So we're going to colonize the tier 2. Now it's going to need a food and a water. So here's another water. And we need to colonize this tier 1. So we're going to colonize this food. And again, this water. And send it there. And we're going to queue it to send there. And we're going to queue that to send to the capital. So, hopefully I haven't lost you there. That's going to be a lot of colonizing happening. We should only be able to do like 2 or 3 of those at a time, just based on the number of planets we have so far. And they'll all come from the capital because it's the only planet we have that really has the extra population. Oh, no, some of them are coming from the level 1 plastics. So that's fine. Those guys are going to go out and have a look around and decide which colony they want to go to. These guys are all going to go here, I guess. You can, for instance, if somebody else is sharing a system with you, you can attack their colony ships so that they can't colonize a system. But it is a hostile action. Okay, so we actually have enough money here now to build a warehouse, which we're going to do. This is one of the best things you can build at the beginning. Now, this is by no means the best strategy for this game. There's probably about 1 million strategies for this. This is just the one I've been using that works well for me, and that is working solely towards getting your home planet to level 5. Level 5 is the highest they can get. And once you get them there, they're powerhouses for resources. We're just going to give this a minute to build. Oh, that pauses it. Anyway, he's almost done. We're going to back up here because I think we're having a problem somewhere. We are. These remnants are attacking our colony ships. So we're going to move our fleets to engage them. Just going to do this. We should be okay engaging this guy. With our 2 ships combined, they have a better total on both of those things than him, so I'm not worried about attacking him. Just going to wait for them to get over here. There they go. Alright. Now they're going right into the combat. The combat's pretty cool in this. We can actually look at this guy and see where he's getting hit. So he's taking a lot of damage in this quadrant here. Something's punched right through there. So you'll see like long lines burn through, and that's like where a ship has been hit in the side and the shot is punched all the way in. So there was one right there, and it completely shut down that system, and now he's blown up and he's dead. So our dreadnoughts are unscathed, really. We lost some support ships here and here. So how these work are, you have a flagship, like these. See, they have a little picture of a flag. So you build the flagship, and then you double click on it, and it gives you a support capacity. So depending on how much capacity the ship has on it, you can give it more little ships to fly with him. And this guy's lost a fair few of his complements, so we can send them back and automatically have them fill up. We'll say auto buy. So when they go in there, they'll automatically spend the money they need from our budget to resupply or what's the word I want? Rebuild? Yeah, to rebuild their complement, basically. Good, I'm glad I got there in the end. So you can see this guy's ordered 1 missile boat, and this guy has probably ordered nothing. Oh, I guess because we have defense turned on and we're generating some, there were already ships in the system, so they just automatically absorbed them. Which is another good thing about defense, is it automatically absorb the ships that are in the system. So all of our things are running. This is the tier 2 needs water, which hasn't been colonized yet. We're waiting on 2 waters, actually. 1 there and 1 there. So you saw how quickly we expanded into several systems. You're going to want to do that most of the game, just to keep up. So there we go. We've got the warehouse built here. So this is going to store extra labor that we're not using, and when we go to build something, it'll automatically be spent right into that unit, which is great. That saves a lot. So what you want to shoot for on your home planet is a warehouse a forge, which will give you increased labor generation by 25%. Really good. And then for orbitals, you want to build a shipyard. This will has 6 innate labor generation per minute. Planets can export their own labor shipyards within trade range at a 75% reduced rate. It's worth it. It's usually more than 100. And you can build a battleship or any larger class ships you have in a minute or less if you have the stored labor, which is really good. Okay, so somebody's made a proposal in the Galactic Senate. We don't know who has done this. So, question mark negotiates to add 4 opposition. So we're going to look at this and see. If the vote passes, the most supportive empire will receive a bonus of plus 5 defense per minute. That's not very interesting to me. If the vote fails, the most opposing empire will receive an instant bonus of 4 random influence cards. That's pretty good. These are the influence cards, I suppose. I don't know why they don't call them diplomatic cards or something. So if we play this, which is going to cost 4 of our influence, we got plenty, 21. It's going to be a weight of 7. So there you go. We're the most opposing empire. So assuming nothing else happens there, that will be ours. Okay, I bought a attach rider and a cultivation. Cultivation cards are fantastic. If we had a planet like this and it was like, oh, I need food, but there was no food nearby, or we had to expand really far to get food, we wouldn't have to worry. We could just spend this card and basically have them plant a garden on the planet so that we didn't need to import the food. So we're still waiting on this water. Is this blockaded? It is blockaded. Colonization is blockaded. This planet cannot be colonized due to undefeated remnants in the system. So we're going to take our ships out. This guy has got a full complement, and so does this guy. So we're going to take them both. And we can just about reach. We'll jump down there and take... Some of these guys are guarding stuff, so they won't bother. But if you get too close, they'll fire at you anyway. They don't move around. Unless you've turned it on so that they do move around. Which I don't advise, because it's terrifying, and they can just ruin you early game. But like I said, play without them at first, so that you can learn the game. We warped right into a remnant guy. Oh boy, this could be interesting. We could lose both of our fleets, which wouldn't be devastating, but it would be quite irritating to have to try to find water or pay for a hydro generator instead of importing water naturally. So we have met another planet. Oh yes, they've found us. Their scout. The Federated Fae, peaceful. Of course, nobody should actually do anything to us in this game because we have it on peaceful. So we've obliterated that flagship, and we're going to attack the next one. Neither of my flagships have taken any damage, really. Let's take this opportunity to show you some of the designs I have. So here's the Guppy, which is the ship I make late game. It's really expensive. It's $1.4 million. It has 2 missile launchers, a fusion generator, 2 fusion generators. I think this was like... You can use this randomized thing, and it does a pretty good job of giving you an outline, and then you can just modify it slightly, which I think is what I've done with this one. And there's also the Commander Dukley design, which is very superior. It's got the similar shape as the other one. I've gone for this kind of... I like the rounded ones, because if you watch in a combat, what happens is ships with missiles will basically... They'll kind of curve around from the fleet and hit stuff in the side. See, like this one. They would curve around into a ship, these orange ones, but of course there's no capital ship there, so they're just hitting these little ships. We can look at this little beam ship just get wrecked. So that's why there's armor on the sides of these, because missiles just kind of clump into the side. Otherwise, the ships usually get hit head on, so there's no point putting armor in the back or anything. Although this one does have some in the back. It's just in case they get into an ambush situation. It's a late game ship, so it doesn't matter. It can be expensive like that. So anyway, we've cleared the remnants from this side. Holy shit, there's actually a giant, scary remnant flagship over here with a really scary support ships, which we cannot fight with our dreadnoughts. So hopefully our colonizers can get there, at least to that part. Also, there's unprotected knowledge, which you're going to pick up. So, what have I missed? There's a kind of got a puzzle element. You got to put these types of resources together, and planets can only export one to one place. So that's where the puzzle element kind of comes into it. At least it seems like a puzzle element to me. The showed you a bit of the diplomacy. Oh, the research. We never got to the research. Okay, the research. I know this is the fucking ugliest tree you've ever seen for research. It is awful. It does sort of make sense in some places, like down here, shield generator. These are all shield generator related researches, so that makes sense, although it's kind of weird. We're not generating any research because we don't have any resources going to our home planet that are giving us research. So what we'll do is we'll build a research complex. You don't always have to build research complexes. Sometimes you get the right resources and it'll be really fast. But this time we've gotten the plastics, and which is going to make us a real powerhouse in the Senate. So that's going to be where we're going to do more of our fighting than on the battlefield. So you kind of have to adapt. It's like Civ. You kind of have to adapt to what's around you. But yeah, you want to get as many of these resources as possible. So we should import this aluminum, send it right to the capital. It'll give us extra labor. Same thing over here with this iron. We're going to want to import that to the capital too. So eventually you get this to level 5. Work on planets that have a tier 2. So this guy, because he has to be level 2 to actually we're just going to restart that. We didn't find any comments or anything, did we? No. A comet is something that gives you a water resource that's really useful. But yes, this guy needed to be a level 1 with water and fish to export his tier 1. This guy needs to be level 2 to export his resource. So he needs a tier 1 and the meat and the food to be able to the meat, the water, and the food. There's no difference between the types of food, really, other than that they're different types. I don't think there's like a bonus for anything in particular. No, they're all the same. It's just different types. You can send the same types to a planet too. Like we're sending two different kinds of meat. Oh, well, it wouldn't matter if we were. Oh shit. So that giant one, oh stop it. That giant one has just blown up one of our dreadnoughts. So we're going to try to warp the other guy away. Okay. So those sport ships will stay behind. You can absorb them into the other ship, but I can replace them easily enough. Alright, so we started to generate some research. You can research different things. You got economics. You should go for the economics and go commerce and economics because they all just add, they give you special funds like right away. So you should spend the money right away before the budget turns over. And then business and commerce and this one, business, all increase your budget just for no reason. So you want to get those too. So yeah, that's kind of like the basics and just the early stages of a game of Star Ruler 2. Stereo 2. I really like this game, so let me know if you want to see more. I'd like to play it longer, and I'd like to make a longer video for you here, but I mean, we've got the basics down. Watch it a few times if you get confused. Let me know if you're confused about a certain thing, and I can try to explain it more. But like I said, I've got most of the basics down. It's just learning a good strategy for winning. So yeah, I think that'll be all. Oh, there's the Dread Pirates. So these guys suck, actually. We'll just talk about them briefly. The Dread Pirates will come along and just blow up any trade ships that are in your system. And as you can see, their ship is massive. It's 35,000 health and 8.2k attack. Huge ship. Really hard to defeat. It's a Titan ship, the biggest in the game. So yeah, I think, yeah, we've gone over a lot. And I thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.